Welcome to Sunset City, where rules are meant to be exploded.
Yo, dudes, the Empire's pretty chill. Maybe you could, join it or something.
Hey everyone, Lucamus Prime here, so it is time for another video game review today, and this time guys, I'm going to be reviewing, of course, another standalone video game, and this is an exclusive game to Xbox One, which I really wish it wasn't, and it's developed by my favourite video game company of all time, Insomniac Games, and this game is not a Spider-Man game. This is actually a game that they made before Spider-Man came out 4 years prior to that, which of course is none other than, of course, 2014's Sunset Overdrive. So, now, how was this video game made? So, the development of this game began in 2011 when Insomniac completed the game Resistance 3. After a project was greenlit internally, the studio partnered with Microsoft Studios, which helped fund the game and allowed Insomniac to keep the rights to the franchise. Insomniac described the game as a celebration of games, as the team took inspiration from different sources, including Prince of Persia, Jet Set Radio, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. Though at its early stage of development, the team took inspiration from DayZ instead. The game is set in a post-apocalyptic future, specifically in the year 2027. Wow, it's 4 years away, goodness me. And the team depicted this as an awesome apocalypse that turns the game's initial world into a playground for players. And the game uses Insomniac's internal engine, which was previously used in the game Fuse. The game was announced at E3 2013 and was released worldwide for Xbox One in October 2014, with a Windows version developed by Blind Squirrel Games released in November 2018. The game received positive reviews generally, with praise for its visuals, traversal system, combat system and humour. However, the game was criticised for the lack of compelling story or innovative quest design. It received numerous nominations, including Best Xbox Game of the Year awards from several gaming publications, and the game was ported with multiple pieces of downloadable content, including a story-based The Mystery of the Muriel Rig and Dawn of the Rise of the Fallen Machine after the game was released. When it comes to my reaction to this game, guys, I got this game when I first got my Xbox One in 2014 for Christmas, because this game, of course, was released in October that year, so I was able to get it for Christmas with my Xbox One. And when I first played this, guys, I thought it was an absolute blast, so much fun. And unfortunately, guys, I lost my copy when I was really young, so that was a bummer, wasn't it? However, recently, I managed to get it from my local stores, so here it is, guys, my copy of it, brand new. And what's great, guys, is the game thankfully remembered my progress when I reinstalled it, so I was able to continue where I left off. So, after I was familiarised with the gameplay and how to play it, I then started to play it again, constantly every day, and I was able to finish the story mode, and now I regard it as, in my opinion, an underrated gem. And in my opinion, the most underrated game by Insomniac that they've done that I've played so far, because I've played their Spider-Man games so far, being Spider-Man 2018 and Miles Morales spin-off. But personally, guys, I think this is probably their most underrated one. And so far, it's my second favourite game they've made behind Spider-Man 2018. So, I think it's an absolute masterpiece, and I'm so glad I got to play it recently, because I really did miss it when I unfortunately lost my original copy of it. So, when it comes to this game, what is it about? So, it's of course set in the year 2027, of course, which is 4 years away from now in 2023, goodness me. But of course, this game was made in 2014, so it was already a futuristic game anyway, back then. And the game is set in a fictional metropolis called Sunset City, and the player controls an employee of the company, Fizzco, which makes some, fizzy drinks in the game, some, orange flavour based on the colour of them because it's orange. And you have to fight off the OD, which is short for overcharged drinkers, who are humans who turned into mutants after drinking Fizzco's energy drink beverage. And in this Sunset City, the player character can wall run, use zip lines, and grind rails to swiftly navigate through it with a large arsenal of weapons to use. And the game also has a co-op mode in multiplayer called Chaos Squad, which tasks players to complete a series of missions with 7 players. And as the game puts emphasis on momentum, the game does not feature any cover system. Because obviously in the game you're moving around constantly, of course. So, when it comes to what I think is great about this game and why I consider it to be an underrated gem, there's many reasons why I'd say that. So for example, the main character you play as is definitely, in my opinion, a very likeable character. He or she, because you can choose the gender when you create a new character, is definitely really funny and has lots of funny quotes. And what's cool is the male version is actually voiced by Yulu Wemful. So basically, he was in a game by Sonic before he played Spider-Man for him, which was pretty awesome. Not sure if there's any others I've checked yet, because I've not played the Insomniac games aside from the three I've mentioned. And of course, he will be in Spider-Man 2, which I'm so hyped for. And he was definitely great in this, and I chose him as the voice of my character when I played the game. And he definitely made him a very likeable character in this, and was definitely really funny. There's also a great list of supporting characters as well in this, who I definitely really loved as well. Just many great characters who were likeable and just fun to see when playing the game. And one thing I do also really appreciate about this game is also, in my opinion, the graphics, because compared to the gameplay of the Spider-Man games I play by Insomniac, this game has a sort of like cartoonic visual style in it, where it basically feels like you're playing a cartoon game. And that, in my opinion, helped the game age really well, because it's from 2014, so it is 9 years old. And in my opinion, it's aged fantastically because of that feature, because it was like a cartoon. It does have a bit of a realistic thing when it comes to the buildings in the game and other details in the backgrounds, but the characters do look cartoonic, I will say that, in terms of their designs. It's kind of like, should I say, like a recent animated film, I'd say, probably, like by Pixar, for example, in terms of the graphics for it and the background, where the characters look cartoonic but the backgrounds don't. Or maybe even like Tintin or Rango, for example, as well. Those movies, I could probably say, too. So the graphics in this game, in my opinion, were just absolutely gorgeous, and the story, in my opinion, is also a lot of fun to play through as well. So that's why, personally, I don't agree with criticism on the story not being good. I think the story was great. I love the story. It also had lots of funny moments too. And I can definitely see what Insomniac meant when they said they were making references to other games, because the game has lots of references to other popular franchises or games. So, for example, when you respawn in the game, I noticed that you can go for a portal, which is orange and blue, just like the Portal games, which is pretty cool. And there's also many quotes which reference popular franchises too. I think there's also a scene which references Terminator as well. And there's also a quote from Star Wars in the final boss, which is actually pretty funny, I will say. And so the game's story, in my opinion, was a lot of fun. So personally, guys, I don't agree with criticism regarding the story, because I think the story was great and a lot of fun. In addition, I also love the gameplay. This game is kind of like a Spider-Man game, just without the web swinging, because it's full of parkour and lots of action. So, thinking it like that, really, like a cartoonic Spider-Man game, and I think it was definitely brilliant, really. And just a lot of fun to play through. And the gameplay is a lot of fun. There's lots of really cool weapons you can get in the game as well, with different abilities. Many of them made me laugh, because they were actually pretty funny weapons. And the enemies are also, in my opinion, fun to fight. There's all different kinds you can fight, of different sizes and abilities, which is good. So they're definitely very innovative in designing the villains in this, in terms of their designs and abilities, which was great. And the music is also great in the game too to listen to. Definitely just really fun to listen to as you're going around the city and in missions. Just brilliant, in my opinion. It definitely helped with the humour too, because some of the music was definitely funny for some scenes. And in addition, as well as that, there's also great boss fights in the game too, and the final boss fight, in my opinion, is also absolutely epic. And this game also does something pretty unique, in which it makes you think the game's over, but then your character you play as breaks the fourth wall and stops the credits, because you at first think your character's died, but then it turns out to be fake, because your character breaks the fourth wall and reverses back before he or she died. And then you get the true final boss, which is basically against a building, which is a machine. So, like, wow. You actually get to fight a building in the final boss, which is just epic, in my opinion. Just brilliant. So, personally, guys, I think Sunset Overdrive is an underrated gem, and is, in my opinion, Insomniac's most underrated game I've played so far, because like I said, guys, while I love the Spider-Man games, I do also love this game too. I think it's an absolutely underrated gem, which I think is just brilliant to play through. And if any guys have Xbox One, then I can't recommend this game enough. I think it's brilliant and just an absolute masterpiece of a game. Just really underrated and a lot of fun. Like, if you guys like the Spider-Man games, I'd recommend this game, because it's made by the same company as them, Insomniac, my favourite game company of all time. So I'd recommend it. If I was thinking about qualities, there's not really that much I can say about it because I think it's an absolute masterpiece. Maybe some bosses do get a bit, hard to fight at times if you don't have enough weaponry, and the bosses we got to defend some areas too as well in the game can also get a bit tough because there's so many enemies spawning. It can be quite hard to fight them all, but I got used to it eventually after many practices. But other than that, though, the game, in my opinion, is just a lot of fun, and I can't recommend it enough. It's a really big shame it was released only on Xbox, but it is released on Windows for all of you guys who are PC players, but I wish it got released on PlayStation because, obviously, this game was made with Insomniac partner with Microsoft, so that's why I got released on Xbox One and not on PlayStation. And I also would not say no to doing a sequel to this game either because it ends on a cliffhanger showing, of course, that the physical drinks are being distributed across the world, so there's a chance it could be a global awesome apocalypse, if you get me. So I would definitely really love to see a sequel in which your player character returns and is fighting against the OD all over the world, which will be a lot of fun to play through. You could probably pick many other cities you can explore, maybe real life ones or more fictional ones, maybe. And could see that really. And the only condition I'd have for it is if they'd release it on PlayStation, not on Xbox. I mean, they could probably do it on PlayStation because obviously now Insomniac have partnered with Sony, so there is that chance they could release this potential sequel on PlayStation and not on Xbox. I really hope so because, as you guys know, I no longer play on Xbox anymore. I've been onto PlayStation completely, and I personally think PlayStation is a much better gaming experience for me compared to Xbox. So I will never be playing on Xbox ever again for the foreseeable future when it comes to its new games. So if I do a sequel to this game, I'll only play it if it's on PlayStation. If it's released on Series X or Xbox One, no, not going to do it. I'll stick to PlayStation, thank you. But other than that, though, the game, in my opinion, is absolutely amazing, and I can't recommend it enough if you guys have not played it, if you guys are Xbox or Windows players. So, if I was to give the game a score out of 10, well, because it's one of my favourite games of all time, and in my opinion, an absolutely underrated gem, aside from nitpicks I have with some of the hard bosses and the defending tasks in the game, I'll probably give this game a full-blown 10 out of 10. Because I absolutely love the game. I think it's just amazing. It's funny as well in terms of the story with many references and many funny quotes and great characters as well. And just absolutely brilliant, and I can't recommend it enough. So that's my score for film, guys, a full-blown 10 out of 10. So anyway, guys, this is me doing my review for 2014's Sunset Overdrive by Insomniac Games. In my opinion, the most underrated game. So, you know the drill, guys. Be sure to give this video a like. Also, be sure to let me know in the comments what you guys think of Sunset Overdrive if you played it. Let me know in the comments below if you've played it. Also, be sure to join Team Prime by pressing subscribe on this coming future. If you'd like to be a member, you can start using a piece of or subscription, and I'll see you all later.